When you look at a project, or a story or a script or whatever it is, and you have the luxury of choosing, other than the bread and butter type of work, what is it you're looking out for?
Okay, first thing is character, and the first thing I'll do is look and see who wrote it, and then I'm really looking at the characters. Who are these people? Do they engage me? That's the big deal. And I mean, I'm a person from a drama background that believes that character generates story, and there can be arguments. I mean, my head writer at the network here says story generates character. I'm one that believes if you have a couple of really well constructed characters contradicting personalities, you can put them in any circumstance. Give them hurdles along the way, and that's going to be engaging to watch how they respond and how they behave and how they change as a result of that, which is kind of what drama is. Okay,
so for you it's really character-driven.
What's that?
For you it's really a character-driven story.
Yeah, it's their journey. Yeah, it's their journey. I mean, I tend to like psychological thrillers, emotional dramas. And I can watch comedies, but I'm not sure how keen or how good I could turn my hand to comedy. So for me, it's the psychology of these individuals I'm watching on TV or reading in the script. And I mean, ultimately they'll tell a good story if there's a good story there.
Okay. Now moving away a little bit from drama and media profession, slightly bigger questions. What is our role as in the media, considering where we are going, where this planet is heading for over the next 20, 30 years, and are we really meeting our responsibilities there?
Well, look, that's almost which little box do we open when we talk about that? On one level, I think the media itself. This reminds me now, this revolution that we're having as a media across all these, platforms, and where we're going is like the Industrial Revolution, except this is a technology revolution. It's changing the way we are in our lives. Now, on a different level to that, how can we use the media for a lot of the stuff for the planet for the next 20 or 30 years, which, we've got ourselves in a fine place now. It's not a great place to be. Water, no fresh water, the air's bad. Our basics we're losing. What I think, how the media's changed, I mean, I lived in Indonesia in the 90s, and people were just starting to get, other than the main television channels there that were run by the country, they were just starting to access all other areas of media and information. And my personal belief is suddenly that people were able to access information about how the rest of the world lived and how their governments run. They, at that time, went, hold on, there's something wrong with this. Why are we doing this? Why are we living this way? And hence, in 1998, there were major riots in Indonesia, and in fact, the president was pulled down. Personally, from living there, I believe that was a direct result of students now having access to media and information and not being so isolated. I mean, the world isn't isolated. I see a lot of great stuff. How we use it, I mean, I think we're starting to find ways of using it now for, all the eco stuff, all the awareness we've got now about what is going on in the planet, as well as people have access now through the media to, by downloading whatever, to getting different sides of arguments. So we don't have to believe exactly what we're told from one level. We can always check it on another because of all this access we have.
Okay, I mean, this is really interesting because when I started out, there were maybe 4 major broadcasters in Germany, and then cable TV came along. There's now so many distribution channels, including the internet, where people pick their own information. The question then is, how much information can people digest, and how much of it can they digest in the right way?
Okay, I think, sorry I cut you off there. I think when you ask that question, when you say people, the thing is that what I believe now, I'm in an island, as you're probably aware, that is so linked up with information blasted at us, whether we sit on a bus, it's coming at us. I sit here, things will pop up on my computer, like you said, the cable channels from all over the world. I believe that kids' brains are changing from being a small kid now, that they can access little tidbits of information and a lot more of it than what we in a different generation were able to. For example, now everything's got to be faster or else people lose their attention. So again, there's so many different levels. How much information can we access? I believe our brains only take in what we really want to know, and we shut out the rest we have to, otherwise we'd burn out. Yeah. Because it's just coming from everywhere.
Makes sense. Now, the challenges that lie ahead of us, to make this all work for everybody, especially the media. Are our governments, are we actually well equipped for any of that, or do we need to really look at another way of dealing with that? I mean, recently, Obama is now the president of the US. Everybody had so many hopes that he would cause so much change. And I think he caused some positive changes, like the beginning of this healthcare reform, which is still not anything like what we have here in Europe or Australia. I think Australia is comparable to the UK, I think, right?
Yep.
But that's only the Western world, and that's only a little bit. We are still at war in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yep. What do we need to do do we have the right leadership in place for all the changes that we have to go through?
Wow, that's a hugely broad question, particularly when we say we. I tell you what, first of all, when you say change, or my own understanding of change is that it's always slow, and it has to be. So if you in relation to Obama, I think that it didn't take 6 months to get to the crisis that the world got to, and it won't take 6 months, 12 months to fix it. I think, it probably took years to establish all the way that America, eventually segued into running, be it dictated by Wall Street or whatever, but the government being dictated by Wall Street. And I think that it's going to take a while to unravel all of that. I'm not a firm supporter of sudden change, and it's possible, if you look back on the history of Russia in Gorbachev's time, that maybe his great vision to do things, to turn things around, was too fast and too soon for everyone. Mm-hmm. So when you say change, so getting back to your other question about the change in the governments or governments, I don't know if we talk. I mean, I think the world's changing because I'm right in, this dot in Asia. What I see from when I'm looking from the inside out is I see these huge. I've got 1 billion people on one side in India and 1 billion plus on the other side in China. Massive economies. If you ask me, is the world changing? Absolutely. Just in that the whole power is changing. History has always changed. I mean, I remember being in Australia and I used to stand up at the movies for the Queen.